On August 31st, 2011, David Moyes sold Mikel Arteta to Arsenal. And on Monday, David Moyes might have gifted Mikel Arteta his first Premier League title as Arsenal manager. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. This week, it's three different people. My name is James. I still support Arsenal. Up top with me, that's still Brad. He still supports Chelsea. But down below, we've replaced. What did I say? I said Chelsea, right?
Do I? Yes, you did. But
okay,
I still support them?
Yeah. Well, we've replaced Sean this week. We've upgraded. We've got Jimmy. He supports Liverpool. Jimmy, hello, good day. Welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Just so everybody else does know that I am right now currently in Discord as Whiteheart Jimmy in support of Sean.
Yes, yeah, I was gonna make that joke at the end of the podcast, so I'm glad you brought that up. My question is why? Why would you want to support Sean when we all want Spurs to get relegated for the memes?
What is this?
So I think we've talked about this in the past. There are aspects of these leagues throughout Europe and the rivalries that make them so good that I don't like breaking them up. So sure. We've talked about me also being a kind of a Dortmund supporter, and Dortmund's biggest rival, from America's perspective, is Bayern Munich, which is not true. It's Schalke, and Schalke has been up and down, relegated, whatever. And then when you don't have that game, you kind of miss something. And I think you, James, would miss that rivalry, those two rivalry games. I think Sean would too, but I think all of the football world would as well. And so I like keeping those things. Now, at the same time, let's say West Ham survived. Millwall has an opportunity to get promoted. And if they did, I think that would also bring one of those great traditional rivalries back into the Premier League too, which would be great.
Yeah.
So if Tottenham goes down, I need Millwall to come up.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell that we are Americans, that just said that keeping the rivalries is super important, which I don't disagree, but
it's an American perspective.
I'm with you, but Tottenham going down just feels healthy for the league. Shocker to the Big Six. This is if Tottenham go down, it is a bigger result than Leicester City winning the Premier League.
Oh, I disagree.
Huh. When you
were under the same owners of Leicester City.
When you say bigger result, do you mean just more shocking?
Yes. The whole Premier League was designed by the Big Six and all of their rules with PSR and all this other stuff to keep the Big Six the Big Six.
Sure, but Tottenham has been on the downward slope for 4 seasons now, essentially. They, I can't remember, they were 11th and 14th and now, potentially relegation, where Leicester was promoted.
They were 17th.
And then 2 seasons later, they won it.
I mean, I think Leicester winning the Premier League is maybe one of the most incredible feats in all of sports.
It's one of the longest odds.
I think it goes up there with Arsenal unbeaten, Chelsea 15 goals, City Centurions, United treble in terms of English football lexicon. I think Leicester City winning the Premier League is that's an insane thing.
Oh, yeah.
But
I think so.
Do you think this conversation would have ever happened, that Tottenham being relegated? Not just us making jokes. We've had real conversations about.
Sure, it seems infeasible. It doesn't seem like something that could or should potentially happen because of the size of Tottenham. But I mean, we saw Leeds did. None of us were really paying attention to football in 2001, 2002 when Leeds went down. But it happened to Leeds before.
They also have administration issues too.
I think that came afterwards. I think they had money problems. They got relegated, and then the money problems got even worse. Is my understanding.
I mean, you can make the argument too. If we leave England and go to Scotland, right? So I mean, yes, financial problems were the result of it, but Rangers went from winning the league about every season and always historically have been to administration and down 2 leagues. It does. These kinds of things do happen. Now, I do, from your point though, I do think that having one of those original 6 that have never not been in the Premier League go down is absolutely a historic moment. But for me, is it shocking for Tottenham to get relegated? Absolutely, yes. I mean, I can't remember where I picked Tottenham to finish. Maybe 11th at the end of the season. But it is pretty crazy to see them go down, but I don't think it's quite as shocking as Leicester winning the whole thing.
You had them 13th.
There you
go.
So I was not high on Tottenham anyway. So again, we're talking about a 4-position swing at the moment.
Yeah.
So
I had them finishing 5th. Ooh, that looks bad now. That looks real bad. Yeah. Okay.
Joel was good with 11. This is gonna be interesting when we calculate the golf. I already have at least 1 point
because Chelsea are
with Coventry.
No. That's a tiebreaker point, Brad. You don't get a point. You don't get a point until the tiebreaker comes into effect, Brad.
Correct.
It doesn't mean anything.
I have the tiebreaker point already, so that means I'm the champion.
Okay, well, I have a point because I got David Raya correct as my golden glove. So, all right. Anyway, before we get into our conversation tonight, hit the subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell if you're on YouTube. If you're on the podcast site, hit it with a follow, 5-star review, whatever your platform so allows. Watch to the end. Operation Trick Google, always in full effect. And hit the share button and send it to your friends who enjoy football. Those things help us out tremendously. So what are we doing tonight? We're talking, of course, about the Premier League. We had round 35 this weekend. A pretty impactful round of football in terms of the championship, relegation. I think we have a fair amount of clarity when it comes to the European places to a degree. I think that while we still have a lot of teams kind of fighting in there, some teams have maybe played themselves out of it. We'll see. But yeah, so I think since you're here, Jimmy, I think we ought to talk about Liverpool first. And
sure.
Of course, Liverpool have had, I think by all accounts, a very disappointing season. And compounded by the fact losing at Old Trafford to Manchester United just kind of, just at the end of the season, is going to leave a sour taste in your mouth for this entire season.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not only losing at Old Trafford, as they did the double on us this year.
Well, they took 6 points off you.
Oof.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, that hasn't happened, since before Klopp, I think. Maybe right at the beginning of Klopp's tenure. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm going to say like 8 years. Could be wrong on that, though. But yeah, it is absolutely disappointing, but it also not surprising, right? Because the Liverpool team just doesn't have that much fight in them. And you could absolutely tell when watching this game, it didn't even feel like Liverpool and the players, other than maybe Curtis Jones, had any semblance of this being a rivalry game.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys were down 2 goals in 15 minutes, something like that. 20 minutes,
and there was not much fight, and even from like the Manchester side, I don't know that they feel it either. And I don't know if this is just the fact that there aren't those homegrown players anymore on both sides, and you've got all these talent import, and that's just the nature of football now in England, and it kind of diminishes those rivalries, or it's the fact that they haven't played each other in meaningful ways in a decade.
Yeah.
There was always the chase from United to get Liverpool Premier League titles or top division titles or whatever, and we've taken that back, but it doesn't seem like it's even there. Even the United crowd at times did feel into it, but it was like kind of they were into it at the beginning because it was the beginning of the game, and then it went real hush. And then they kind of got into it a little bit again, and a foul towards the end of the game, and then they were reeling it when they took the lead, and then that was it. It was there. It just didn't. You didn't feel that passion, that hatred that I still feel, even despite everything I just said, when Liverpool play Everton.
Yeah.
And so it's. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I think you bring up an interesting point about the homegrown or players from Liverpool, players from Manchester playing for these teams. I just thinking about it, Curtis Jones is the only academy player in the Liverpool side right now, essentially. Yep. And maybe Kobe
shipped off Harvey, but he wasn't originally an academy player.
Yeah, and then Kobe Mainoo for United. I think, is the only academy product. Like, and so that's a good point. Like, especially Manchester United. I'll admit I'm less familiar with the Liverpool academy, but I do know that Liverpool do produce a lot of high quality players. But like United traditionally always have. I think that there was a streak for like 35 years or something like that, where they always had at least one academy player in their starting 11. And I think that only got broken like under either like Ralph Ragnick or Eric Ten Hag, something like that.
It was after Ferguson left.
Yeah. I mean, after Ferguson left.
But it also, again, was the more globalization of talent.
Right?
Sure,
Absolutely.
That became a thing with with streaming platforms and easier ways to scout players internationally. That changed up the not just football, but the sports market as a whole, right? Yeah. We've got more Japanese baseball players than we ever did in the United States, it is what it is. I mean, there's more United States players playing in Europe now than there ever was, because they can be more easily scouted.
I mean, and I say all that, and Arsenal have 2 players right now from the academy who are in the side right now. So like in Saka and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Now, of course, we have Winieri and Dowman, who are in and around the team, and Winieri's on loan right now. But like, there's a lot of talk that we might sell him this summer. So I don't know.
I think there's also increased demands on win now versus develop and win later. Because again, you still see that some in American sports, but not as much. And I'll even make the argument in youth sports in America, it's getting to be more like that. Instead of building up an age group, it's more like find the talent to win now, because winning now always matters, because that gets you into the next level of whatever league you're trying to be in.
Which is patently absurd for youth sports.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Crazy.
But it is what it is. It's unfortunately the pay to win model that we have here.
I mean, I'm thinking about this from Chelsea's perspective. Who are the youth products? Who are the Chelsea Academy products? You got Reece James, clearly. Colwill.
Yep. Chalobah.
Okay,
Chalobah was from the academy?
Yes, but that's
from the academy.
That's a weird one, because you guys keep threatening to sell him. It's kind of
They've been trying to sell him for like 3 years. Yeah.
It's like what Juventus do with Weston McKennie, where they're always like, every summer they're like, we're gonna sell you, and then they can't ever find anyone to buy him, and then he becomes their most important midfielder for the season.
Yeah. And we have Achampong coming up.
But you guys bought him from Fulham, didn't you? Or is that no? That's the center back. What's his name? The one you don't.
We got for free.
Yeah, you don't like him.
Tosin was a free. Yeah.
But you got him from Fulham. Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, I think your point about the win now thing is also an interesting thing if we pivot to Chelsea, because Chelsea have created this model where they buy what?
Sorry, continue what you're saying. We had created a world-class academy where we sold talents to make money about other people.
What I'm talking about is the new business, the new business model and the new sporting model at Chelsea, where they're buying players who are under 23, or like they'll make a slight exception here or there for like a 25-year-old. But their goal is to like buy a bunch of young players, kind of sift through, see what succeeds, and like that's how they're going to build their club up. And I think, Brad, speaking of Chelsea, as if we could transition there, you had high hopes for Chelsea this season and the plan and things that were going on. Now, of course, injuries and setbacks and things like that. But do you think that this business model, this sporting model, perhaps is a better way of looking at it, because I guess we're less concerned about the business aspect of it, but is this sporting model sustainable for Chelsea or for any club to win in the Premier League right now?
So I do think the initial reset was needed.
Sure.
I do think like our squad was old. We were spending too much money.
When you say the initial reset, do you mean like right after you sacked Thomas Tuchel and you had Graham Potter and like that, when they started doing what Graham Potter wanted?
We bought a bunch of players and sold a bunch of players, got rid of most of the old heads, brought the average age of the squad down to like the lowest in the Premier League, or second lowest. I think that was necessary. I think now that we have a core of Colwill, Caicedo, Palmer, Reece James, João Pedro, now it's time
Robert Sanchez.
João Pedro.
Robert Sanchez
was the last one. João Pedro was the last one.
I just completely derailed your thoughts.
Oh my god. The amount of did you see my eyes just like explode out of my head? Because I think in the group chat, I said at the beginning of this, like we are like
you're like
we should be
we're goalkeeper to center
and
back
a goalie away.
Yeah.
From like actually legitimately competing for like the Premier League.
Do you actually think that that's all you need though?
Fully healthy 15 players, yes. Because who's playing next to Colwill?
I don't know about to win the league, but I think to be more competitive. Yeah. I think you compete for top 4 with that. Yeah.
I think
we're pushing like top 3, top 2.
I think you're doing what Arsenal were doing 4 years ago, where you could potentially luck your way into a title race, but you kind of have no business in being there. Like if you think about Arsenal 4 years ago when we made our first run at it, like we had no business being there. We just got unbelievably lucky with injuries. We had no injuries that season, and some of these players just ballooned into some like superstars, right? I think that would kind of be what you need.
Yeah, and y'all have replaced the goalie a couple of times, but you guys have built from like your center back pair is your center back pair.
Yep.
Who is besides Colwill? Who is the other right center back with him? Who is his partner?
That's a good question.
I don't think he's on the roster.
I don't even know if I can name more than 2 Chelsea players at the moment. Period.
I could name a handful, but I don't. I think
you can name more than you think.
I'm sure.
Did I say Caicedo in the group?
You did say you. Interestingly enough, you didn't say Enzo Fernandez in that group of 5.
That was the one I picked up on.
He can go to Madrid. He can go. He can ship off to Madrid.
Did you say Lavia as well? I'm not sure you said Lavia.
Oh, you didn't say Lavia
because of his injuries.
I actually forgot about Lavia.
So did I, but he played against Forest.
He did. Yes, he did. He was on the field. Yes. Our best player came off in the 54th minute of the game.
Who's your best player?
Derry.
Oh, the
almost
kid.
Got murdered.
The kid who got knocked out. Yeah, he's
okay.
He's doing well.
Recovering. Yeah. He's doing well. He's at home recovering.
I do think Chelsea have like really good foundations of a squad. It's the same thing I think that I talk about every time I come on here is I just don't think Chelsea have goal scorers.
What do you mean? We have a 20 goal scorer. 20 goals this season. We finally have a striker that scored 20 goals.
Sure, you got one guy that can score goals, but again, what's your goal differential this season?
They are presently at 6.
You don't have enough goal scorers.
Hold on.
I think they're 54 goals scored puts them in the top 3rd. It looks like, just as my quick look.
Okay, match week 29, it was 19. We've scored 1 goal in 6 games.
Wait.
So like this is a generationally bad run of these 6 games. We scored 1 goal in 6 games. So I went back to match week 29.
Kind of making my point.
Like this is just this is like.
Well, that was the
that leads to a goal. We just can't knock in the goal.
That was the Racinha blip.
Yes, this was the Racinha
experiment.
Graham Potter
experiment. Yeah. That was the Racinha experiment.
Sure.
Which we already did once with Graham Potter, but like whatever.
Now you guys are is it 6 straight losses? 5 straight losses? 6 straight losses?
6 straight losses.
That was 5. Yeah.
That's an that's a generationally bad run for Chelsea. I don't know, probably 120 years.
That's Tottenham level.
More than that. Yeah, it is. Hey, funny you bring that up. Since February, Tottenham have scored more points than Chelsea.
That's an insane stat.
That is ridiculous,
isn't it? Isn't it? This is
what was
absolutely crazy. But
tell everybody the stat you and I were talking about pre-show about Liverpool points and.
Hey, so James, how many points do you think Liverpool had at match week 29?
How many points? Well, they're at like 55-ish right now, something like that.
They're at 58 right now.
Oh, they're 58. So
they
6 weeks ago or 6 rounds ago.
Yeah.
They were probably around 50-ish.
They were 48, and they were a place. They were in the Europa League spot.
Behind Chelsea.
Behind Chelsea because of goal difference. 19-9.
Oh.
Goal difference.
In 6 weeks,
Hey,
6 rounds.
6 weeks later.
Yeah.
6 weeks later, do you Chelsea, Liverpool are on 58 points.
Yeah.
And Chelsea's still at 48.
I mean, 10 points out of 18 is still not great, but
No.
But I'm not saying
0 out of
Liverpool's
18.
been any good either. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement. Liverpool's got a trash season.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
still
absolutely.
at 48 points.
I think
the fact that Liverpool's in 4th doesn't make sense.
This is an astronomically bad season.
Does it not make sense in the sense that like Liverpool have been terrible this year, and so somehow they've lucked their way into 4th? Or
I almost feel like they've lucked their way into 4th because the whole middle part of that table. I mean, again, like talking about the relegation battle, 13th place is still in the relegation battle.
True.
So, right, but that's and I think that speaks to it, right? So, who are the teams competing generally for the top 4?
In the last 5 years, Arsenal, Liverpool,
Chelsea, Villa. I mean, not United.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Sure.
Well,
but now United figured out their stuff, and United's been near there. They've been Europa League.
Yeah.
And Tottenham was Europa League, right? Where's Tottenham?
Relegation.
Let's go down.
They're 18th. They're 17th right now.
Chelsea's barely top half of the table because of this generationally bad run. So like who and we know what Unai is going to do with Villa as soon as he's in the Europa League final, right?
Down
so like
and get pumped for the rest of the season.
He's already started.
Yeah.
Right. So like it's not necessarily luck, it's that like the other teams are just worse that would be there competing. And
okay.
I think you're gonna ask me a question, and I think that's the root cause.
Well, I have a broader question about Chelsea, generally speaking, about like what this season would have been had the ownership group backed Maresca in January and told him, no, you're our guy. We're going to give you money. We'll buy you a player now, and we're going to commit to $200 million in spending in the summer. You're our guy. You're the guy who's going to lead us into the next 5 years. If they had given him that confidence, like what would Chelsea's season look like right now?
So, phenomenal.
I think about the same.
You think it'd be about the same?
I mean, I think they've got more than 48 points, but I don't think they're pushing for the title. I think they're comfortable, maybe 5th, 4th.
I think they're 3rd.
I think we're 3rd.
Yeah.
I think we're 3rd.
I don't know.
I don't think we're in the title race, but I think we're 3rd.
Yeah.
And I think we lift a trophy, like the FA Cup, or
I think you can still lift the FA Cup. I mean, that's not out of the.
We're playing City. It's not happening.
The Carabao Cup.
It's possible.
Or the Carabao Cup. We would have lifted one of those, and I think it was just one purchase, and it probably would have cost 15 to 20 million.
Now, let me throw this in there.
If you
I don't remember how this worked out, but isn't it also around the January transfer window when Chelsea got busted for whatever discretions where they were going to get a 1-year transfer ban, some other things?
No, that was after it.
Okay.
But that was all ongoing.
That was ongoing. That was an ongoing investigation that Roman had cooked the books on agent fees. He hadn't.
We all knew that.
Posted agent fees, right? He didn't. Well, what's funny is the agent fees weren't illegal. He just didn't put them in the accounting. He hid them.
This is one of the reasons why I feel a kinship with Liverpool supporters as an Arsenal fan, because our clubs have been fighting against unbelievable amount of corruption in football over the last 25 years.
Okay.
It's incredible.
But back on topic, 15 to 20 million to Bournemouth to pick up Senesi on the last 6 months of his deal, and it becomes like a Cahill-esque transformation. Cahill came in and we won the double. We did the double. We bought him in January, won the Champions League and the FA Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
Cahill's a good player.
Yeah, but I mean,
he's a great player. We bought him in January and then won 2 cups. Like, I feel like that would have been Senesi could have had that same impact because you would have a Cole Espa. You would have had a defender that can actually do things.
Yeah, but he would have been playing against nobodies for the last 2 months until Cole and you know what I mean? Like,
we bought Andy Carroll in January and he was
sure
a player.
He could kick a football.
That's kind of what, like, that should be the expectation for you purchasing Senesi, is telling him, hey, look, man, you're number 3, you're our cover. If you can play right center back, you'll probably be pairing Colwell unless we find somebody else.
Well, you would think you would know that before you sign him, especially in this day and age of the analytics of football. Like, you're not signing people and be like, could you play this position? And then when our guy gets healthy, you could pair with him.
Sure. You can make the argument
for
for
what I'm saying.
Okay,
right?
I'm sorry. I did.
What I'm saying was like that would have been the conversation of, hey, you're the left center back because that's the role that you're playing. When he comes back, we'll shift you to the right for the season because there's nobody else that can play that spot.
Well, I think my point though, in responding to that, is that in the analytical world that we live in, the Moneyball people who are making these purchasing decisions would look at that and say that's a short-sighted purchase because that's not his position. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't be willing to spend $20 million on him because Colwell's in that spot.
Yeah, but we also have like 6 center backs that are all worthless. So like, sure. Even if you bought him as like the number 3 defender, like it's still a great purchase. He beats everybody else on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right. I don't know.
But like, yeah, we didn't back him. We didn't like, he asked, like, so I get the model is bring in a new coach, set the guardrails around the new coach. Hey, you're just going to manage the squad. You can tell us who you want or what profiles you want, and we'll figure it out. But you don't have much say.
You're a coach, not a manager.
Correct. The next season, when he then goes on and gets 2 cups last year, right? I mean, Conference League, left or right. He wins the Club World Cup, right?
Friendly preseason tournament.
Yeah.
He wins the Club World Cup, and then you don't back him. So of course he walks, and you don't back him when you know Pep is almost done at City, almost done with his career, probably gonna go manage Spain, just for S's and G's, right?
And you're playing with fire. You're certainly playing with fire with a guy who
you're asking for him to leave. You're saying no, the sporting directors are right and you're wrong. He's like, well, I'm the one coaching the team. Like I see what the team can do, and he changed his style. And like, good on him. He changed the style when what he wanted to do wasn't working because Sanchez is a donkey, and we don't have without Colwell, we don't have that center back to.
Where do we think he's going to go?
City. Maresca's going to City.
Okay, that's my.
Hold on, is he going to City or is company coming to City? There is a world where Vincent. I don't know. Vincent Company. Pep Guardiola rates Vincent Company. Like rates him really highly, and I think that Pep is going to be heavily involved with picking who succeeds him.
I think it would be great if they got Vincent Company because I think he is going to flop at City.
So do I.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. But it's Maresca because Maresca doesn't have the press conference that he did and walk out on the team if he's not guaranteed the next best thing.
I don't know. I think that there's a world where Maresca looks at that and says, "This is an opportunity." Like, but I seriously doubt that City.
He said in his interviews, "Oh, I can't tell you where I'm going next, but we'll know soon."
Well, I mean, hold on. Let's say Company did go to City. Bayern Munich's open.
Yeah, but Bayern Munich's gonna get Xavi. You know what I mean? They'll go get Xavi Alonso. They wanted him. They wanted him.
Yeah.
Before they signed Company.
Yeah.
And then I could see Maresca going to Manchester United.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the other one I could think of. Even though I think Carrick's done a good enough job to retain that for another year.
I mean, yes, I agree.
I think that'd be awesome too.
That's the real Ferdinand put the contract out, sign the thing kind of situation. Yep. We're all here for it.
We're all in.
Yes.
We're all in for both of those signings. So. But I think it's Maresca's going to City.
I think that's an interesting conversation for Chelsea supporters to kind of think about and analyze.
Apparently the sporting directors might want some of these sporting directors because we have 72.
Yeah, you have a lot.
Maybe giving the can.
Yeah, I think you need to simplify your sporting operation slightly at Chelsea. But yes. This is part of me thinking that the new Chelsea that we have now, Blue Co Chelsea, is just a different thing. I am not
private equity.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Chelsea Football Club will continue to be the boogeyman that they were for the last 20 years because of the new structure. Nothing over the last 3.5 years has shown me anything to prove to me that Chelsea will be those guys.
We have to see if this evolves.
Well, the problem is Chelsea were ruthless, and they're not ruthless anymore.
I'm with you. And we have because we have like the new structure that's in place was to buy young that we could still make a profit even if they flop at Chelsea, right? Like we haven't done bad business. We bought poorly. We bought a ton of people, but we've also been able to move a bunch of them on for profit or breaking even.
I think we'll have to see over the next 5 years because there's
Give me right. Do we still go for the 20-year-old kid that we don't know what he's going to be? The stats say he could be this, but he might end up this way. Or do we go get the 25, 26, 27, 28-year-old veterans that have been doing it and can play the game and like build up the team, build up the confidence to have won things that this younger group haven't necessarily been involved in as much?
Yeah, do you guys go out and sign Camavinga or Tukamini from Real Madrid this summer? Like, and I know that you don't need those players, but like that type of player. Like, do you go out and get that type of player at a big club like Chelsea would have done when they signed,
before
whoever? So,
you know what'd be crazy?
Tell me what would be crazy.
Let's say we get Xabi Alonso. Do you know who really liked Xabi Alonso on Real Madrid? That the rest of the squad kind of hates right now, apparently.
Mbappe?
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Mbappe, he's an enigma, though, because I'm not sure he has the work rate to succeed in English football.
Oh, God, no. He has no defensive structure. No, he could not play with Cole Palmer. We need one of them to come back. Yeah. But also, I don't think Mbappe could deal with the
physicality of
every single week.
Michael Keane, Tarkowski, Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
Right, like
he had a glorious tackle this week. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that any of the current prima donna Real Madrid boys would be fits for the English game at this point.
Vinny.
Okay, I'll let you please sign Vinny. I don't think Vinicius Jr. could succeed in England. I think that maybe like Camavinga, I think he could work in the midfield. I think Thibaut Courtois could play in England.
I think Courtois would be a great player in England.
Trent Alexander-Arnold could play in England.
I don't know if he can anymore.
All right.
I mean, he's been ruined.
We do need to have a quick conversation about Manchester City and Everton because that was a monumental result at the Hill Dickens Stadium. Everton were up 3-1 on City, and had they not, when Everton scored their third goal, had they not instantly let Erling Haaland just walk down the pitch and score a goal 15 seconds after the restart, they would have won that game.
Yeah,
they would have taken They would have taken all 3 points off City, and then they would have thrust themselves into this Europa League argument
conversation. Yeah,
even then, the third goal was complete laziness on defending. The ball is. There's not a single Everton player that went after that ball and charged it and closed it down, and he had acres of time to set up a shot. Now, was it still a worldie? Absolutely.
The problem is,
but he should have never been in an opportunity to get that shot off.
Yes, I agree with you. He scored both of his goals were insane, and they were both the same, but on opposite sides of they were mirror opposites of each other, and they were both incredible goals. But yes, to your point, how is no one closing Jeremy Doku down in the 97th minute? Like,
there were. I can't remember. There was a ridiculous amount of Everton players just standing in the 6-yard box. Yeah. They didn't move, nothing. And it's like they thought the whistle was going to blow because they didn't score immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, and nothing to take away from Doku. He was in the game as a whole, he was unbelievable.
Yes.
I thought he was a very good player. He is like Doku, and then was the Semenya that signed from Palace. Those two guys, I think, have carried City this season. Those guys have been great.
You know who's been really great for City since January, but had a torrid one Mark Gahey. Like he had, and honestly, Mark Gahey had.
I was going to bring him up when Brad was talking about defenders.
He had a great game. He had a great game as well, except for the one back
except
pass.
For the one mistake. Yeah, but that happens.
Yeah, I mean,
that happens. But we're talking about what ifs. Yeah. What if Liverpool would have signed him over the summer and they got that worked out? Would we be in a better situation?
Absolutely.
Defensively, I would imagine we would. Now, it doesn't fix all of our other issues, but we would have conceded less goals, I think.
But that's a huge
And City
issue.
Would not be as good right now.
That was a huge issue for Liverpool this summer. You spent £400 million on attackers, and
we couldn't
you spent
get a single defender.
You spent $15 on a left back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Frimpong, and he's been injured, right?
Well, he's been injured, but Frimpong. So Kirkez, we've spent money on it. I think he's probably a good long-term investment.
Agreed.
We shouldn't have just immediately plugged him in because he's got some weaknesses defensively. But Frimpong's been hurt. But Frimpong is not. Again, it's like we had a not quite defensive-minded right back, and we replaced it with another not quite defensive right back. And we again had the same problems we have on that side of the field defensively.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be that surprising to people because we signed essentially a right wing back or even like a right midfielder versus a right back.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's a really intriguing what if, because if Liverpool got that across the line, I think Liverpool probably would have had a much better season.
Yeah, I mean, again, that also could have given us 3 center backs, and we could have played Frimpong and Kirkez in different positions potentially, and just completely changed things up. Again, do I think Liverpool is challenging for the title? Absolutely not. I think we're maybe challenging at Old Trafford.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of stuff in football is just like consistency and and emotion and like getting on a run of form and just sticking with it. And like Liverpool started the season fairly well, right? Like there's
5 in a row.
Exactly. So like there's a world where like, if Liverpool were maintaining that, the swagger's still there a little bit. I think that there's a world where they would have been fighting with City and Arsenal.
I think it's possible, but with Salah dipping form, like Wirtz needing like 10 games to kind of try to find the English Premier League.
It took him a while.
And then Isak going down really quick, even though, again, hard to say if that matters or not. Ekitike is, I honestly really solid little player. Again, bad injury that he's going to be out all of next year.
I also think that Arne Slot kind of hurt him a little bit when he came in. When Ekitike came in, they signed him. He was the guy. He came in. He played phenomenally well in the first couple of games. And then the Isak signing gets over the line, and then he immediately gets dropped when he's in great form. And it's just like that's.
And again, they don't find a solution for 2 players in the same position. They still play Gakpo, who has been really bad this season, and and then the Salah ordeal has been a problem. But it is what it is at this point. I mean, ready for next season. Yeah.
So all right. I think we're going to leave it there. Arsenal got a pretty handily easy 3-0 victory over Fulham. And so now Arsenal are in sole control of the title. If Arsenal win their remaining 3 games, they will be champions regardless of what City do now that they have dropped points against Everton. Spurs beat Villa. We meant to mention this earlier. Spurs beat Villa, and West Ham lost to Brentford. So now Spurs are out of the relegation zone. 2 wins on the bounce. We'll talk about Spurs against Leeds on Friday's episode. So you'll have to come back and check that out if we think that Spurs will continue on. But you'll have to check back on that on Friday. But I think that's all we've got for you right now. We will be back on Friday, of course, with the preview, and you want to check that out. Hit us up on social media. Brad is at KSBradG. I am at James Tiffany. Jimmy is not on Twitter, but you can reach him at Whiteheart_Jimmy on our Discord. And the reason why you want to join our Discord, which is linked in the description of this video below, is so, of course, you can talk to us outside of normal podcasting times or YouTube restrictions, things like that. But we do our picks on our Discord. And so you can get involved in that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch Friday's episode and we will explain it to you there. I hope everyone enjoys the football. Right now, I think Bayern Munich and PSG are about, just the first half is about ending in that game. So if you've been listening to us, you can now flip over and watch Bayern Munich PSG. That's a barn burner. And so you'll be enjoying that. Watch it be a dreadful 0-0 affair. After last week. After the fireworks that were last week.
Oh yeah.
So, but watch that and see who Arsenal are going to get in the Champions League final, because Arsenal progressed to the Champions League final as well. I'm pretty excited about that. We will be back on Friday. Until then, have a good one. We will speak with you soon.